kind of fun. And
Like
well,
a book report.
What's that?
Like a book club.
Like a book club. Like a book club. And we're actually getting, but we're gonna take a little. We are not gonna shut down. Actually, the
Nope.
stream is gonna continue.
What?
We are about to invite our guests into the
Yes.
room. Yes, yes, indeed. So we are Chela.
Yes.
I'm gonna turn it over to our producer to
Oh.
just give us a little brief discussion about what this is all about, who we're bringing in. And
All
what
right,
we're
all
gonna
right,
talk
all right.
about.
So we got the State of Cannabiz 2019 Legislative Update and Business to Business Expo this weekend, Saturday the 13th of April. And it's organized by Luis Rivera, who is Collective Strategies, Social Equity LA, Adriana Gomez, and
Hello?
Ryan Bacchus. Hi, guys. Ryan Bacchus from California Cannabis Coalition. And they have teamed up to create this incredible expo that is going to be filled with lots of great information. There's going to be, they have it sectioned out into 3 sections. The wellness section, of course, has my heart. Of course, as you know, there's a business section and, of course, the legislative update. So I'm really excited to hear more about how they got together, what they're all doing in their respective organizations, and more about the state of cannabis itself. So are you ready to bring them on screen, babe?
Well, I think you need to. Hey guys, can you hear me?
I think they can hear us. I can hear me hearing them.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, there you go. There
How
you
you guys doing? Sorry, having those audio difficulties.
Oh no, I hear
That's
you.
okay. We're gonna work it out.
We did our test, and and then they immediately had echoes, and I had to fix some audio difficulties too. But we got it.
Okay, I think we're good now.
I think we got.
Okay,
And I think we
cool.
got to let us know, guys, on the stream if we are echoing. I don't think we are, but definitely let us know in the chat because I don't want us to have a big echo as we're going through. We can try to fix that, but I think I have fixed that. You guys can hear us on the Zoom, right? And I think people in the chat, let us know. Make sure you can hear our guests and also us. And I'm just really quickly, I'm going to introduce the 3 folks that are on screen right now. You actually, oh no, I just clicked a button I shouldn't have.
It's okay. We're going to get there. One-man
super
band.
excited.
You're like that.
One-man band.
You're like that, you know.
And plus, I should put my glasses on. That,
Oh, yeah,
that'll
there you
help.
go. All right, good. We're all getting in there.
All right.
All right, squeeze.
Well, you guys are great.
Oh, there
Hey
you go.
guys.
Hi.
Doing?
All right, we
Awesome.
have on screen Luis Rivera, Adriana
How's
Gomez,
it going?
And
What's that?
Ryan Bacchus in the middle.
and Ryan Bacchus in the middle. I'll switch those around. Thanks, guys. Say hi.
Hello, are we good with the audio?
I can hear you.
I can
yeah.
hear you. I think we're going out. I see it going out over the meter. So I think we are good.
Okay, cool.
Welcome to
All right,
Reefer.
sorry, you know how that goes.
Indeed. Welcome to Reefer Revolution Live. Thank you guys for joining us. We are, of course, here to talk about cannabis equity and the state of Cannabiz, which is this Saturday,
The 13th.
the 13th.
Yes.
Do us a favor. Tell Luis, maybe you start. Introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about your organization and lead us off with your cohorts and tell us about the state of Cannabiz.
Oh, there it is. Thank you. Nice kickoff, and I appreciate you, Coach and Dave. You guys have a great show. I'm glad to be on.
Thank you much.
I'll just kick off here. My name is Luis Rivera. I am CEO of Collective Strategies LA. We're licensed cannabis event organizers, doing both consumption and non-consumption events for sales and non-sales on site. Also doing mostly economic and workforce development, and we'll talk a little bit more about the event, but I'll pass it on to Ryan and Adriana to talk about a little bit about their work.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Bacchus, Chairman and President for California Cannabis Coalition. Hope we're all doing great out there. Of course, as you know, organization statewide for now 10 years, working locally and with the state government in order to proliferate policy reform efforts, regulatory standards, and just accountability standards for our whole industry, not just cannabis, but hemp, and staying in the foreground for especially, you know, those policy frameworks as well. So going on that, you know, of course, for a decade now. So it's been a very big honor to serve the industry and all of its needs as we do.
Awesome.
Hi, my name is Adriana. I am the co-founder of Social Equity LA. It's an online and in-person platform that helps social equity candidates navigate the system and the process and legislation here in Los Angeles.
Awesome.
Yeah, so good stuff. Yeah, I know you guys talked about what's going on in LA. I mean, you know, there's a lot, well, statewide with social equity. Here, you know, a lot of what we're doing in our overall work is about access, inclusion, and diversity, and making sure that access to information's out there. You know, the inclusion within, you know, minorities, women, and those formerly incarcerated get an opportunity now that it's legal. Making sure that, you know, we're taking advantage of these programs. Unfortunately, you know, some of the pitfalls and problems with the legislation is always kind of an issue, and I think we saw that with the state kind of putting themselves, the cart before the horse, with this stuff, you know, recent rollout. So hopefully they're able to kind of retweak it, I guess, to say it nice, and hopefully they're able to get that together, because, you know, we really need the funds out.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was very disconcerting to hear the couple of things in the last week that just they're just dragging their feet for some, you know, money being shifted in Los Angeles. Now the state saying, "Hang on a second, we're not," you know, whatever, for whatever reason, just no answer as to why they're delaying the continuation of the program. So it's just, you know, I think the rollout maybe of this whole thing was they. I don't know. It was it? I know everybody wanted it. Everybody said, "Hey, here we want our legal weed," and then they came up with these temporary rules that just became one problem after another. More and more taxation, more and more over regulation, and now what's supposed to have been, you know, definitely part of Los Angeles, but in the state as well, is social equity. And here we see dragging our feet. We saw the nonprofit model. That was supposed to be a report was supposed to be done for the nonprofit model under Prop 64 was delayed also another year. So we're seeing corporate cannabis, I think, weighing in across the country. Certainly in New York, we saw the list come out of what they didn't want, what MedMen and others didn't want in their legalization in New York. And now we're seeing, you know, all the way out here to the West Coast, you're seeing, I'm sure, the influence of these corporations that are stopping home grows, delaying equity, all in the chase for tax dollars and profits, while still arresting people, 94% for possession, and not allowing re-entry entry into this legal market. So Ryan, why don't you jump in, talk a little bit about the coalition. Or Adriana, or talk about LA Equity. Either one of you, talk about your groups and what you're doing and how you got connected and why you're putting this State of Cannabiz together this weekend.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, especially as far as with what we do with the coalition, especially is obviously the legislation is a very big piece of everything in the mold, but also is the education and mobilizing those grassroots communities, not only the communities, but the people within them, stakeholders, local elected officials, the district leaders, different things of that nature, because of the fact that it was a, you know, cart before the horse situation, because as you're seeing, 80% of California is not online, even with, of course, the state now being sued by the 24 cities, including Riverside, Beverly Hills, and some other cities, as well as the Riverside County, or Santa Cruz County, rather, for, you know, delivery statewide. You're seeing a bit of a dichotomy, and that is the haves are having an easier way than the have-nots, because access, as it's being hindered more, not only with it being hindered more, but the supply chain taking a big hit, cultivators coming off, you know, 2,000 roughly, losing their licenses. It's one after another. And you think about it, even going to the scope of social equity, you know, you think about it as some of these major brands in the industry, you know, even with corporate influence coming in now from Canada and from some other countries as well, and even from the other side of the country, you're seeing that if this is a big burden for the guys that are supposedly the top in the industry right now, what does that say for people who are, for example, the true social equity owner, that one true applicant who's the mom and pops, the guy just running it by himself, and doing it bootstrap with 1,000 square foot of floor space. And that's really what it comes down to.
Also, for Social Equity LA, one of the biggest things that we saw for initially, and why we decided to create this this social enterprise, is a lot of the information that was public, so-called public, wasn't really accessible to everybody. A lot of the communities are disadvantaged, and a lot of the communities that had most of the social equity candidates did not have this information. It wasn't accessible to them. So what was happening is this information was being sold to them. So they were paying to get public information, and we realized that that's one of the biggest things we can do for them. We can create a place where they can find the information that is free, clear, summarized, and easy to understand, and have them follow that process so they can then have a better opportunity of being able to enter the industry.
Yeah, we've heard too many and seen and witnessed firsthand too many stories and unfortunately individuals that have been taken advantage of by investors or those claiming to want to work with them, but they have this whole ghost type of ownership model. So for us it's really about making sure that the equity applicants really are those truly that want to be in there, that are being set up for success. That's really why we've started the work with Social Equity LA in terms of bringing that access, that information that's just simple. It's out there, and I know I worked in the city and got to learn the insides and the ropes. So just how the information is segmented and kind of throughout the committees, and how laws are made. All that stuff is something that an average person, let alone a social equity applicant per se, would be able to follow, given all the things we're all dealing with on a daily. So we wanted to do that, and that's really what the state of cannabis really ties into. It's just a broader version of that, the whole state of cannabis, if you will, taking it past social equity, and showing that we can do what others maybe aren't doing here in LA. I think one of the major reasons why we wanted to have the state of cannabis was because we saw things happening and great things going on throughout the state per se, regarding networking and access to politicians and legislation to the business owners, and that type of work that still is far from where it needs to be, but especially here in LA, it's not happening. So we want to create that space, that networking space, that work space where legislators are actually hearing from the store owners and the business owners, and vice versa, so that policy is being set up to enable the marketplace. So with that, I'll kind of just set up the event a little bit, but I want to let Adriana kind of kick it off and give a little more details to where it's at and what date and all that.
Sure. So the event, State of Cannabis, is going to be at the Convention Center, Los Angeles Convention Center in downtown LA on April 13th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We chose the Convention Center because it's one of the best, if not the leading venues, professional venues for exhibitors, conferences, and other type of trade shows. I see that cannabis is no different than any other expo, any other trade show, and it's accessible to everybody in Southern California, so it's well known, and we decided to go for it.
So it's a great day, packed up. So it's starting off with a legislative expo. Update, giving some background from the state and federal level, and then going into an EASE report. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention, but EASE and DOPE are two of our major partners here.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's pretty awesome. Well, that's amazing.
No, I think it was really smart also of you guys to choose the convention center. It's really brilliant.
But so much, but it's really showing the diversity of who the partners we can bring in. If you go on the website, State of Cannabis, you'll really see a lot of the partners, not only them two, but they are key. Yeah. And part of that is EASE is putting together an insight report. They have a lot of data to help destigmatize and show what the consumers now are, and kind of sales and how that's doing and who's really buying. So they're going to share some highlights, kind of continuing to spur that dialogue and show the data behind the consumers. So with that, so from there, we'll go into some of the expos, the B2B sessions, I should say, which there are 5 of them. So Ryan, if you want to kick off with who our moderator is and some of the panel.
Yeah, that'd be great.
First, let's start off with our wonderful hostess with Mimosas, Beverly Hills Cannabis Club, Cheryl Schumann. She will be moderating all the panels, as well as there will be some sub-moderators. We're having a panel not only on social justice, but the war on drugs, some of the elements around that and how it circumferences opportunity and opportunity within the industry. Our panel for that will be including the Drug Policy Alliance, of course. Also, California Minority Alliance, Virgil Donahue, and them will be in the house. Nice. We'll also have some panels on holistic medicine, wellness. As you said, that's very close to your heart over there, Coachella. So we make sure to out for you on that. We got the Weed Warriors Project, Dan Paws from Orange County Normal on that panel. Lanny Swertlow from, I believe it's Marijuana Anti-Prohibition Project. He will be moderating that panel.
And Brownie Mary Democratic Club, yeah?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, from that, yes, as you know, he does a lot of great work over there in the high desert and the Inland Valley area. So we made sure that a lot of the people, including, of course, the Veterans Cannabis Coalition, who they're talking about their work on the federal level, all the veteran groups that we have there, even some of the social justice groups like California Minority Alliance and Drug Policy Alliance, it's to be the center place for the voices who have been there, not only for the long run, and especially making sure that the industry has become established as it is today as much as possible, but the ones who are continuing that fight in the best possible ways and come with the true intent of how this industry actually started. So you know, make sure that, of course, what their message is there, but it's also being communicated what's really happening in our industry from the people that are truly fighting those battles on the forefront.
Awesome.
Well, I know that, you know, one of the narratives, or one of the concerns that I heard this week coming out of New York, and their halting essentially of legalization over equity, which I think is a good thing to throw the brakes on a little bit, because they were certainly rushing in this political season. And I think you brought it up nicely, and that you're addressing it, is that here you have generations really here in California, but everywhere, families in a traditional market, you know, growing, selling this federally illegal substance to support their families, to support their locales, their towns. Out here in California, Northern California, I mean, there's towns that are supported, you know, with recreation centers from cannabis, you know, cash. There's a lot of containers full of money buried up there. Let's get it in the banks. But there's a lot of people who have have lived on this for generations, and now they are being literally illegalized. I mean, it's Prohibition 2.0. It's more illegal now that it's legal. Now they've got a list. Now they've got a list of who is legal, and they know if they're not on that list, you know, they just look at a picture and they're like, oh, look, there's a cannabis grow, and they're not on the list. Let's go get them. So it's a whole, you know, and we're worried even the governor of California is going to swoop in with another, you know, what was it called? The camp, you know. Yes. Yeah. So that's awesome that you're doing this, and that the I know LA also Social Equity LA is also involved in expungement clinics. Is that correct? Just as an organization.
Correct. That's one of the services we provide.
Great, excellent. That's awesome. And with this algorithm, which is so exciting, working within the communities that are bringing it on, as we saw in the news this week. We still need, you know, ways to get people to know how to work through their old convictions so they can participate in this somehow, and that groups like you know, the three of you, and coming together and doing this expo and bringing together the businesses and making sure that they don't lose sight of it. It's really nice to see Ease, which is obviously a California-wide company, involved,
and Dope Magazine,
and Dope Magazine, which is, you know, one of the premier culture magazines of the space, and
Beverly Hills Cannabis Club with the California Minority Alliance. Right. I mean, that we can all come together, because cannabis does bring us all together.
And you know? there's expo after expo. They're popping up. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ryan.
Sorry.
Sorry, say that again.
But people aren't using it with that intent right now, so we got to get it back to how it used to be, being
exactly
supposed to bring people together. Yes,
it does. Yeah. It does help bring people together. At this I went to a Aging into the Future conference this past weekend, and I sat down next to this lady, and we started chatting, of course, and another fellow sat down, and we were like the United Nations at this table, and everybody at my little table used cannabis. And of course, I talked to them about cannabis, and they were all over 65, and it was a wide range of people, and people who've been using it for 50 years do come from a melting pot of diversity, you know. So
Yeah.
it's the MedMens of the world that have made it look like it's not that way, but the fact is that we are all cannabis, you know.
Yeah, and I think to your point, I mean, you know, not only is this even an example of that, of who we all are, you know, cannabis is something that brings people together. It's something that has always, you know, been used for kind of spurring that healthness, that healthness, the wealth, and all that. So for us, it's really about getting us to get together and making sure we provide that information, that access, and get the diversity and partners. I mean, you know, we don't want to see what happened before happen again, and it's hard to take the kind of separate the conversation from you know, cannabis legalization and the war on drugs and the effects that it had on so many cultures, so many communities. And you know, so it's a part of that in here, and we want to show that, and we also want to show that the unity, and that's one thing that we've been able to find here in Los Angeles, at least, and even throughout the state. There is a sense of people wanting to come together, learn, network. So this is, you know, this event is really an opportunity for making that happen.
Right. If I can add to that, I think another reason why we think it's really important to make sure that this venue or this state of cannabis happened is because a lot of the events that you hear about are either very expensive for the average person, sort of exclusive, and it seems like only those who can pay the price have access to the elected officials or to the real information. So we wanted to make sure that anybody, whether you're in the industry or trying to get into the industry, you have access to that information. It is affordable, and it just brings a variety of people together. So that's also women. One of my passions is trying to encourage women to be more active and more part of the industry. I think it's sort of it's been a taboo for women to be vocal about it. You can be part of it as long as you're not too vocal, you know, your family doesn't know about it. So now that it is legal, now that you can actually become a businesswoman and do this the right way, I think it's great for women to come out and start, you know, start coming out of the 2% ownership and maybe just become,
And even on that note, EASE is a great example of corporate responsibility and partnership that they do to be able to really, you know, provide the data and show kind of, and even this partnership. So we want to continue to use these opportunities to kind of show the diversity, and through you know, whether it's in women empowerment and education or events, it's all about bringing people together, spreading the knowledge, and getting corporate to be responsible as well. One of the things, just, you know, last point maybe on social equity is that, you know, this is broader than just owning a few shops and people with licenses. This is about corporate responsibility, economic and workforce development, and the different opportunities are coming. You know, we have some great state partners from the EDD, the Development Services and Department of Industrial Relations, who are going to come talk about from an employer standpoint, because, you know, now there's Cal OSHA, there's requirements, there's ways to do this, and employees can now be represented. And so for us, it's really showing that just that spectrum of just the broad information and the broad knowledge that it takes to run a business. So we'll have that. We'll make that accessible to everybody at a low price, a great venue.
That's great.
You know, we want everybody down here. On that note, we have a 20% off discount, Social Equity LA.
Awesome.
You type that there, you know, helping some more people out. But you know, obviously, if there's anything, you can get in touch with ADRIANA at info@Social Equity LA, or you know, either one of us if you have any questions on that.
Stateofcannabis.com also has that information. So if you scroll down to the contact page, you should be able to contact any one of us.
That's great.
Very good. Thank you so much for the discount code. That's awesome.
Fantastic.
Yes.
And well, really, thank you for creating this event for us to all come together. Because if you hadn't have made it, we wouldn't have reached out to you and said, hey, let's talk about this because this is totally in our wheelhouse. So
Yep.
we're super stoked to
And
be
in our neighborhood.
Yeah, and in our neighborhood. So we're super stoked to be coming to see you guys on Saturday and be a part of it and interview some folks and get more of this information out there to the people. As you guys know from our show, we're a very education-based project. We want the news of cannabis as medicine and as a legit business opportunity and legit medicine to be normalized and not to be just like snickered about and, you know, oh, cannabis is medicine, ha ha ha. No, dude, it's really medicine.
Well, you know, I think, you know, we're starting to see these these tropes start to disappear. We still have work to do. We definitely have work to do in this space. Here we have an amazing industry that is, it's like out of the gate, it's flourishing. And we have to make sure that the people who have created this industry,
the foundation
of this industry, actually are able to get into it and be a part of it.
Yeah.
And you guys doing this is so crucial. We're going to be coming to you guys live throughout the event on Saturday. We'll be checking in. We're definitely going to be doing interviews. We're going to be doing some expanded coverage. So make sure you subscribe, get notifications, ring the bell for when we do go live over the weekend, over Saturday, the event from 10 to 4.
The State of Cannabiz.
The State of Cannabiz.
With a Z.com.
With a Z, yes, .com. We're
yes.
gonna have we'll have that in the description, or it's already there.
It's in the description right
Perfect.
now. I'll double check. The link is in there. State of Cannabiz with a B at the end.com. Tickets available. We've got that discount code if you want to join us. Come down and see us at the State of Cannabiz. We will meet Luis and Adriana and Ryan in person and talk to you guys, get you guys on camera to talk about it. We thank you for coming on and for the work you guys are doing.
Yep.
This
Throughout
is
the
so crucial. And you're so right. These expos, it's another racket. These business expos are just another racket to go along with corporate cannabis. I mean, John Boehner is selling, he's doing his investment racket.
Yeah.
You know, there's expo. So it's nice to see an accessible expo that is educating people around how they can get into this business. You know, coming from the exploited class from the drug war, how you can break through and get into this and actually start to make some real money in this business. Is going to be it's the fastest growing business in the United States. As soon as the States Act is passed and we start to see descheduling on a federal level, I mean, John Boehner is saying that it's going to be out of control. The amount of, you look at the jobs, it's outpacing healthcare, it's outpacing construction now. When the feds actually start tracking job growth in this industry, it's going to be ridiculous. So we have to make sure that the people that have suffered under prohibition for all these years have the chance to do it. And you guys are starting that and doing that now with a real expo that's going to be beneficial to folks in the business. And we're going to see you guys Saturday. Thank you for joining us today. We'll catch you on Saturday. We'll come down early. We'll talk during the week because we want to talk about logistics for the event. We want to support you guys in however we can, our channel and our show, and making sure the information that you guys are putting out, the panels and the people, it's just great. We're super excited you're here today and super excited we're going to be a part of it on Saturday.
Yep.
So
thank you so much.
Some last thoughts about Saturday and social equity in LA and in California.
Well, first, if I may, thank you for you guys' support, especially your show, having us on. But one thing is we really do, being that Los Angeles has not come fully online and the reasons why even the industry in LA is not fully as it can be, we want to make sure that we're on the right side of history. And this is what this is about.
Absolutely.
How the war on drugs started, it definitely was a big reason of why things are happening now. We need to prevent them, but we also need to create a space for everybody. So that's what it's about, is the people united will never be divided. So thank you for your guys' support and see everybody on April 13th.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Luis Rivera, Ryan BACCHAS, and Adriana Gomez, the organizer of State of Cannabiz this weekend in Los Angeles,
Cool.
the 13th. We'll see you there, guys. Thanks for coming on. And
Thank you.
Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back.
Cool. Thanks so much.
That's going to be so cool.
Yep.
That's
State
gonna
of
be cool.
Cannabiz.
I am
It's gonna
totally
be
excited
really
about
good.
that. That was great. Those guys are doing amazing work.
Yep.
And the guys, I use the colloquial.
Folks.
The folks.
Those folks are doing really great
The
work.
folks are doing great work over there at State of Cannabiz. And they're the California Cannabis Coalition, Collective Strategies, and Social Equity LA.
Yes,
Three
sir.
amazing organizations
Yep.
working together to educate and help people, give people a hand in navigating the green rush and corporate cannabis crush in California. So make sure you subscribe, get notifications. We're going to go live, probably check-ins on Saturday. I don't know if we're going to be able to do a full live stream out of there, but we'll definitely check in.
Something will happen.
We'll be getting some, something will definitely happen. We'll be getting some great interviews.
It's going to be awesome.
On camera with those folks and some other folks that we have on our wish list of folks we want to talk to. So, and we'll be able to report on that next Sunday.
Yep.
On the show. So that was cool, guys.
So
awesome. Thanks everybody in the chat. Lots of chatting going on in the chat about all kinds of things.
Super chatty. There was
you,
a lot of
Cannabis
Bernie
Sativa.
Sanders chatting in there.
It was a good talk. It was a very. This is a hugely important issue from coast to coast, as you saw in the Chronicle this week. New York legalization basically stopped in its tracks over equity, and the issue of equity in the the highest consumption of cannabis, New York City. World consumption. Before they go full legalization, they want to get it right too, hopefully. And those folks working here in California and in Los Angeles. All right, guys, that's our first hour.
Yay, first hour. Good job.
That was awesome.
Good job, first hour.
Good
Okay,
job, guys.
Dave's going to do some retooling.
I think your sound is sounding pretty good over there.
Good.
I think has everybody's cello sound awesome today? She's on a new mic. She's on a new mic, and I've been seeing a lot of overmodulation, so I've been trying to ride it. I've been trying to ride it, but I think I've kept it up.
Oh, goodness.
One Love Organics had to step back, had to step away. You're back. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Certainly, we're about to go into the afterburn.
That's
One
right.
Love. Stay in the chat. RBU's in there from Australia. We've got news out of Australia this week. We've got world news. We've got news from all across the country. And we're going to be right back with the afterburn, guys. That interview was great.
Yep.
Stay in the chat. The YouTube stream will come back up on the main page, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Thank you, Holy Cannabis Oil. You're very kind.
Holy Cannabis Oil. Lots of information coming through. It's great. I haven't been able to keep up in the chat because I've been trying to listen to our guests.
And Holy Cannabis Oil said, "People, hit that thumbs up button."
Oh, that's
so. Yes. Thank you.
And share. We are planning more and more interviews now. We've got a bunch on deck.
That was fun.
And we're going up north.
We have to interview Roger Christie. We still have to interview him.
He's on the, I'm
going to reach out to him.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
It's a big one.
But now we've got actual, now it just keeps.
But State of Cannabis came up, and it was really timely, and it had to be done.
It had to be done. It's this weekend.
There's so many good people to talk to, you guys. We could talk to people forever and never talk about the news.
Coach Chela sounds like an angel. RBU.
Oh, I don't know about that. Very raspy angel.
Brenda Vaccaro.
But thank you. Yeah, Brenda Vaccaro is an angel.
Yes. All right, guys, we're going to shut down for a second.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with the afterburn.
I'll still be with you in the chat.
What's that?
I'll still be with them in the chat.
All right, Chela's going to hang out in the chat. I got to retool. I'll be back in 2 minutes. And free the plant, free the people. Pot for peace.
That's right.
We'll be right back. Reefer Revolution live. Sundays, 4:20%.